Oh, buzzed puck boys, the rink is calling. From glen to glen and down the mountainside. That's all I got. And that the last part was part of the actual song.
Yeah, no, that was good. I like that.
Welcome to Buzz Pucks.
When you said you were thinking about a song, I had two in mind. It was
What was
either
the other one?
Shipping Up to Boston. I wasn't sure how you could work that in.
No, that one would be hard. I'm not sure if I've sang that before. Part of me says I have, but maybe I just did it in my head at one point. Anyway, welcome to Buzz Pucks. I'm Bert.
I'm Clay.
And if we sound different, it's because I bought new mic stands. Because I broke the other ones, and one of the two of us have fixed it several times.
And I feel fancy today.
Yeah, we look like actual podcasters now. So if we sound better or worse, that's why.
Yeah.
But happy 3 days post
St.
Patrick's Day. Thank you. It's been a long week for Bert.
It's the 20th.
Yes. The 20th, we'll be covering week 23 of the NHL season.
Yep. There's only 3 weeks left.
Is there really?
There's only 3 weeks left.
Oh my God. Really?
No one's at single-digit games left, but a lot of teams
close.
are at 12,
next week.
11, 12.
Huh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, we only got 3 weeks.
Oh, I don't know why I thought it was more, because last year I distinctly remember it being 29 weeks long, but I think there was... Oh, the Olympics were supposed to happen last year, and then they didn't because of insurance reasons or something.
Right.
Or, I mean, they still did, just not with the NHL players. So that might have messed up the schedule. Oh, well, whatever.
Yep.
So, 3 weeks left, dang.
The 15th is the last day, I believe, of April.
Some of these teams got to get their shit together. You know who I'm talking about.
A couple.
But in celebration of St. Patty's Day, I can't believe Clay agreed to this. We're going to start off the podcast with an Irish car bomb, which, by the way, it is an offensive name.
It is.
Because it comes from the Struggles? Was that what it's called?
The Troubles.
The Troubles, that's right. Basically, Irish Civil War back... it wasn't that long ago.
A lot of it was in the 80s, and it took place in Northern Ireland, which is still part of the United Kingdom.
Ooh.
That's because also a lot of the Irish-English struggles.
Yeah.
You have religion baked into that,
of course,
as well.
Like everything.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of history of religion that goes into the Catholic English struggles.
Either way, watch the Dairy Girls.
Yeah.
That it's kind of about it.
Takes place
in like a comical way. Well, it is kind of about it too.
Yes.
It definitely takes place
in Belfast.
No, Derry.
Duh, you're right. Duh.
Takes place in Derry.
Duh.
Really funny show though, as well. It discusses those issues, but also like a comical, like schoolgirl kind of way too. So. And
for the Troubles, it wasn't necessarily a civil war. It was more the IRA, the Irish Republic Army, which is you can call a terrorist group. They liked to use car bombs.
They did indeed.
Yes.
So hence the name Irish Car Bomb. So we're going to start off with that. We will not be drinking multiple of these because we will not be able to finish the podcast. We're going to start off with one and then drink Guinness after that.
Yep.
So, in case you guys don't know, an Irish Car Bomb is Guinness with a shot of Bailey's and a shot of Irish whiskey, in this case Jameson, dropped into them, and then you got to chug it because it curdles. Yep.
So we're going to have a little bit of dead air. We're going to get some clinks and some dead air so we don't die. I think it's like half a shot of Jameson.
Oh, whoops. Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
I don't have to drive home.
All right.
And
then we'll get into the week.
And then we'll get into it. All right, you ready?
You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3. That's yummy. But there's a messy cleanup.
All right, I'm just going to grab paper towels really quick.
All right. So that was yummy.
Very good.
I'm feeling my Irish heritage flow through my veins. The Finian is coming out of me. Hey, Bert, do you want to invade Canada?
Hell yeah.
Let's do it. You want to get like 80 guys, somehow win and almost take over part of Canada?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Also, let's wake up the Pinkerton part of you, too.
Hey. Hey. Jesus Christ. Some liquid came out of the glass. That's kind of part of the bomb.
Yeah, I shouldn't have done mine as close to the recording equipment as I did. Seems
Living, we
okay, though.
learn.
We're still going.
All right, we're good.
All right.
And Bert is going to start.
Aye. Let us start. Oh. I was close.
I got me Irish heritage out.
Get the Irish heritage. Not me, I'm Scottish. We're starting with the Central Division. And as always, with the Central Division, we're going to start with the Arizona Coyotes.
Didn't they have a good week?
They did. They went 3-0. Here come
What?
the Coyotes, ladies and gentlemen. My hands are sticky now.
Oh, that was just Jameson in that.
Oh, don't worry, I still
Leftover
have
that I
my
found.
Jameson.
I have a little bit too.
Yeah. Anyway, the Coyotes went 3-0 this week. They started off the week by beating Calgary 4-3 in overtime, where they were outshot 45-25.
There's going to be a couple of games like this.
There's more than a couple.
Yeah, there's a lot of games
There's
where
more
it's
than a couple.
shot discrepancies.
More than a couple for Arizona. Well, a couple for Arizona just by themselves. Clayton Keller had 2 goals in that game. Hayton and Valimaki each had 2 assists, while Marcelli had a goal and an assist. I could feel warmth in my face
It's great.
from the ball. Arizona then followed that up by beating Vancouver 3-2. Sorry about that.
That was my fault.
Was it?
Yeah, no,
we hit the table at the same time.
No, I hit the microphone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was Clay's fault.
There's booms now. I got to learn.
Yeah, we kind of got booms now, so we got to be a little bit more careful with how we swing our arms around. Wow, I could hear that whole thing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
They beat Vancouver 3-2, where they were 2 for 3 on the power play, and Travis Boyd, had 2 goals in that game.
Go for him.
Not a big goal scorer, so good on you, Travis Boyd. And then they beat Chicago to finish off the week, where they were outshot yet again, 34-21. Clayton Keller and Valimaki had a goal and 2 assists in that game as well. And in case you couldn't guess, Clayton Keller is their top player.
I saw that he also
3 goals, 3 assists.
I saw that he also became Arizona's first 30-goal scorer in like a decade.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's incredible, really. Moving on to Chicago, who also had a good week. Bottom feeders having a good week.
Oh, yeah.
At least in the Central Division.
And in the Pacific.
Yeah. They went 2-1.
Actually, never mind.
They beat Boston.
Yes, they did.
6-3.
And because it was in Chicago, they were heckling Boston. They were chanting, "You're nothing special."
We'll see when we get to the playoffs. Because here's the thing. You can have all the records in the regular season you want, Boston. Doesn't matter if you don't win nothing in the playoffs.
100%.
Ask Tampa Bay.
Ask the Red Wings.
Well, they did win some things.
Well,
they won a bunch of Stanley Cups.
The Red Wings and the 95-96 Red Wings and the 18-19-20.
Oh, you're right. Because they were talking
18-19
about...
Lightning had the same points record. And they both got swept in the first round.
You're right.
Then they both won back-to-back after that.
Yes.
But first-round sweeps for the President's Trophy and record holders.
Anyway, Chicago beat Boston 6-3, where they were outshot 42-29 by Boston. Taylor Radish had a hat trick in this game, all in the third period. You're a crazy motherfucker. He's pouring his whiskey into his other Guinness.
What?
Kachuk had a goal and 2 assists, while Mitchell, Correa, and Anderson each had 2 points.
I just got off a flight earlier today, too. I'm only on like 2 hours of sleep.
So maybe Jenny should have driven you here. Chicago then followed that up by beating Nashville 2-1, where they were outshot again 36-21.
Wow.
Alex Stalock, 35 of 36 in that game, and unfortunately got injured not that long after that.
Come on, Stalock.
And then Chicago lost to
healthy.
Arizona, as I already mentioned, 4-2.
Mm-hmm.
Boris Kachuk is their top player.
There's another Kachuk?
I just wrote it because I saw his name was Boris. I was like, oh, hell yeah, Boris. He had a goal and 4 assists this week.
Wow.
Moving on to Colorado, 4-0 this week. They were 6 for 14 on the power play.
Oh, Makar. It's like, we always lose
Yeah,
when I
right.
come back.
Oh, yeah, right. Okay.
Shut up.
I think since he did that interview, they're like 7-0.
Yeah.
So, fucking Makar. They beat Montreal 8-4, where they outshot Montreal 33-19. Nichushkin had a goal and 2 assists, while Lankinen had 2 goals and an assist. Makar had 3 assists.
Yep.
They beat Toronto in a shootout 2-1, close game, where they outshot Toronto 29-18. Georgiev was 17 of 18, and McKinnon had the only shootout goal. I almost said shorthanded. They beat Ottawa 5-4, where Rantanen had a goal and 2 assists.
I watched this game.
The Ottawa game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was some bullshit.
McKinnon had 3 assists, and Makar had a goal and an assist. Why is this bullshit?
So Eller scored his first goal as
With Colorado, yeah.
Avalanche.
Avalanche.
And he did it when puck came down the line. A lot of people thought it could have been called icing. That's debatable, whatever. And then Sogard put both of his hands, it bounced off the boards, came to Sogard. Sogard put both of his hands over the puck for a good 2 to 3 seconds.
For long enough.
Yeah. And an Avalanche player was coming in. And he just assumed it was long enough.
Yeah.
The whistle never blew.
Because it was long enough.
It was.
Yeah.
But there was 3 players around him, including another Avalanche player, that was just standing around, and Lars Eller just comes up and just stabs it in.
Yeah.
And
that's one of those things, why didn't you just blow the whistle? You guys blow the whistle, early all the time.
They blew it early later in the game. Of
course they did.
As a makeup.
Yeah,
of
of course they did. Of course they did.
But if I am...
I'd be so mad if I was Matt Sogard.
Well, he was mad because it ended up being the game-winning goal.
Yeah, because
Ottawa came back
up 5-0 at one point.
5-1.
5-1, excuse me.
Yeah. Ottawa sworn back, and that ended up being the game-winning goal.
Of course it did.
I will say, Giannis Johansson, the goalie of that game.
Yeah.
He saved it with 10 seconds left. He made some spectacular save with 10 seconds left in the game.
Did he make a scorpion save, or was that someone else?
That was Shesterkin made scorpion saves this week.
Right, but that wasn't to actually save the game. That was
he might have scorpioned a little bit.
No. You mean Johansson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he might have scorpioned.
I want to say it was maybe Johansson to save the game.
But
because Shesterkin, they were already up 6-0.
Right.
That was a cool save, but it didn't really matter that much.
No, this one, 10 seconds left. Two brilliant saves to close it out and stop it from going to overtime.
Nice. Colorado finished off their week by beating Detroit 5-1.
Yeah.
They got outshot by Detroit 34-23. There was a lot of big shot disparities. Yeah, that's the right word. This week, McKinnon had a goal and 2 assists, while Makar had 3 assists again. And speaking of those two, they're Colorado's top players with 9 points each.
Jesus Christ!
It's going to be a learning curve. It's going to be a learning. It's okay.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. All right, moving on to Dallas. 2-2 this week. Started off the week by beating Seattle 5-2, where they were 3 for 4 on the power play.
Yes, they were.
Jamie Benn had a goal and 2 assists, Heiskanen 3 assists, and 4 other players had 2 points for Dallas. They then lost to Vancouver 5-2.
Hey, be good to Vancouver this week.
Why?
They're on a tear.
They lost to Arizona.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Well, all right, fair enough. Jamie Benn, again, had 2 pretty good back-to-back games. 2 multi-point games in a row. Goal and an assist for him, while Heiskanen had 2 assists in that game. They then lost to Edmonton 4-1.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it for that one. And then they beat Calgary 6-5 in overtime. Was that for your drink that you just shook your head like that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It's a lot more Jameson in that Guinness than I thought it was.
They were outshot again, 38-26 in that game. Robertson had 2 goals and an assist, including the overtime game winner.
Yes.
While Rupe Hintz had 3 assists, and Joe Pavelski had a goal and 2 assists. And Miro Heiskanen is their top player with 8 assists on the week.
Very cool.
Moving on to Minnesota, 2-1 this week. They were 7 for 13 on the penalty kill.
Ooh.
Yeah, they did score a shorthanded goal. It doesn't make it that much.
No,
better.
it's bad.
And that's still bad.
That's Vancouver levels.
They did start out the week by beating St. Louis 8-5. Good old fun 8-5 game where they were 2 for 4 on the power play in that game and 2 for 5 on the penalty kill.
Wasn't even the highest scorers game of the week.
No, no, it was not. Hartman had 2 goals and an assist. Joel Eriksson had a goal and 2 assists, and 4 other players had 2 points for Minnesota in that game. They then lost to Boston 5-2, where Johansson had a goal and an assist for him. That's Marcus Johansson, in case anybody was wondering. And then they beat Washington to finish off the week 5-3, where they were 2 for 4 on the penalty kill.
Yep.
Really good numbers this week.
It's really good numbers.
Hey, but Boldy, good old Matthew Boldy, had a hat trick in that game.
Yes, he did.
And Johansson had 2 assists in that game.
Round 2 for Johansson in Minnesota, a lot better than the first
looking
time.
Better this time. Looking better this time. Matthew Boldy is their top player of the week with 3 goals and 3 assists. Oh, sorry.
That was you this time.
No, I know that was me.
That's
That's why I said I was sorry.
No, it's more I'm clarifying. It was not me this time.
He has one of his hands behind his back.
I'm
right
sitting
now.
on it.
Moving on to Nashville. They went 1-2-1 this week. Beating Detroit to start the week off 2-1, where they were outshot 29-16.
Yep.
Sherwood had a goal and an assist. They lost to Chicago 2-1, where they did the outshooting. They lost to Winnipeg in overtime 3-2, where they were outshot 34-20. And then they lost to the Rangers 7-0, where they were outshot 34-22.
Yeah.
That's it for Nashville. They do not have a top player because if you look at it, they scored 5 goals in 4 games.
I have a couple of teams that didn't have a good week, but they put up a lot of points. So it's just like, you can have a top player.
Sure, I would give that to them. If they had a player that had 7 or 8 points in these 4 games, but he was the only one doing anything, I would give it to him.
Yeah.
Nashville did not.
No.
At all. Moving on to St. Louis. 2-1 this week. Look at them.
Look at that.
They did lose to Minnesota 8-5, like I mentioned before, where they were 3 for 5 on the power play.
Mm-hmm.
Pavel Buchnevich had a hat trick. Bunch of hat tricks this week.
Yes.
Yeah. Torrey Krug had 3 assists. Vrana and Thomas each had 2 points. And we'll talk about Binnington when we're done with St. Louis.
Yeah, let's do that.
St. Louis then won 5-2 over Washington, where they were outshot 34-22. A lot of shots like that, almost that exact same range.
Here's the thing: I knew Washington was going to lose to St. Louis because the backup goalie was in.
Gotcha.
There was no way that they were going to beat the backup goalie, whoever.
I think it was Joel Hofer.
Yeah.
Sammy Blais had 2 goals in this game, while Saad and Leddy each had 2 assists, and Braden Shen had a goal and an assist.
Yeah.
Then they shut out Winnipeg 3-0. St. Louis got 17 shots in this game, and Winnipeg got, how many do you think?
34.
Did you look that up?
No.
Yeah, you were correct.
Boom!
Yeah, you were correct. 3-0, where they were doubled up on shots by Winnipeg. And Kasperi Kapanen had a goal and an assist in that game. Look at him.
Look at him.
Look at him.
Look at him. Pittsburgh was the problem for him. The city itself.
Maybe. I wish him luck. Joel Hofer is their top player of the week. He is their younger goalie. Mm-hmm. He was 2-0 with a 102 goals against and a .970 save percentage.
Why do you have to play so many games, Bert?
Because Jordan Binnington is a huge baby bitch. So he got scored on by Hartman.
Yep.
It was Hartman. I don't remember what goal it was.
It was the 5th.
Was it the 5th goal? So when Hartman scored, totally legitimate goal. Binnington was kind of sliding out of the net when he scored, and Hartman kind of clipped him by accident when he went by.
If you look at it, it looks like Binnington threw his leg out and arm out to
really?
trip him up. It looks like he was trying to trip him up.
Binnington. So maybe he tried to do that. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, Hartman accidentally clipped him.
Hartman just went through him.
Yeah. Wait, not like he didn't hit him hard. He just clipped his pad.
Yeah.
And just kind of spun Binnington around. Nothing malicious, nothing bad. He was celebrating with his teammates, and Bennington went and punched him in the face with his blocker.
Yep.
And then a whole scuffle erupted. Marc-Andre Fleury came
down the ice,
took his mask off, took his blocker and his glove off. He was gonna fuck Bennington up, and the refs would not allow it. And then he did an interview after the game. He was like, "I was ready. Yeah, that was my man that he punched, or that was my guy. I'm not letting that happen." And Marc-Andre Fleury desperately wants to be in a goalie fight.
He kind of does. He had an interview a long time ago where he was in junior leagues. He got in a goalie fight and broke his hand.
Yes.
So he's just like, maybe just a Golden Stanley Cup.
Yeah. Because before that, he was like, oh, my dreams are, or like my bucket list is winning the Stanley Cup, scoring a goal myself as a goalie, and getting in a goalie fight. And then, yes, he got in that goalie fight, broke his hand, and he was like, maybe just scoring a goal and winning the Stanley Cup. So he has done... Let's give him a half. He tried. He wanted to fight Bennington.
Oh, he was trying to fight Bennington.
He has the Stanley Cup 3 times over.
Look, I know.
I understand why it's not allowed anymore.
No, let them go.
No, I was going to say, but let him. Here, I think there should be a stipulation. Jordan Bennington needs to get his ass beat by somebody. And if it was Marc-Andre Fleury who did it, it would be just so beautiful.
I do have to say, I don't think Fleury would lose the fight. If he did lose the fight, it'd be devastating.
It would be.
Emotionally.
I will say, I have actually had the pleasure of meeting Marc-Andre Fleury before. His hands are gigantic. So he could probably... Those would hurt.
No,
His very large, long hand.
At this point, there's old man strength.
That's true, too. Dad strength.
But, like, if he had lost the fight, it'd just be emotionally devastating.
He'd probably just retire right then and there.
Right.
Yeah, but somebody's got to beat... man. R.I.P. Ray Emery. Ray Emery would have beat Jordan Bennington's ass by now.
He would have gone through the linesman to do it.
Yeah, I know. Just like he did with Holtby, which is why goalie fights are not allowed anymore.
How about you stop the guy... Like...
Touched a nerve there for Clay.
Yeah, watch that goalie fight. Holtby wants no part of it.
No, Holtby didn't want to fight.
And the linesman just watched it.
No, I'm not blaming Braden Holtby or Ray Emery.
I'm not blaming Emery either. Emery was just
Holtby didn't want to fight. Holtby tried to turtle, but Emery kept going at him.
And this time the refs didn't want to intervene.
But for his trouble, Jordan... I said Braden Holtby. Jordan Bennington was suspended for 2 games.
Yes, he was.
As he should be. And honestly, he's become such a clown. He won that Stanley Cup with St. Louis, and I'm guessing he was kind of an asshole before. That must have just ballooned his ego. He's not playing particularly well this year, which makes it more hilarious of how much of a baby he's being.
Well, that's one of the issues with Bennington. It's so easy to get into his head.
Yeah,
as soon as
you knock him off his rhythm. Yeah,
as soon as you start running up that score, he starts chirping. He starts like...
Yeah, I can think of there's been several instances of it this year. I could think of one against the Penguins
with Zucker.
With Jason Zucker. Jason Zucker just scored on him.
Yeah,
that was all. And then Bennington tripped him into the boards.
Well, no, he tripped him into the boards, and then Zucker scored.
And then Zucker scored. You're right. Yeah. But he did get a penalty
because he went and chirped the bench afterwards, and he got a game misconduct.
Okay, no,
Grease had to come in.
He tripped him into the boards. Then Zucker scored on him. Then he got pulled, and he chirped at the Penguins bench. The Penguins were just like, "What?" And then he got a game misconduct.
Yeah, and then he got thrown.
Yes, that's right. But I mean, there's at least 2 or 3 other instances of him just being a giant baby this season.
And then Grease fell into the goal, and then they wouldn't have had a goalie.
Thankfully, he didn't get hurt.
Right.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, because that's right, because he was coming in and he tripped and fell down. Yeah, he just tripped and fell down. Poor Grease.
I know.
That's embarrassing. Yeah, that was something.
Jordan
Bennington.
For his career and the Blues to continue, He needs to get his
He's got to get his
under
head
control.
He's got to calm himself down. I don't know if he needs like anger management or something.
It's more like it's just so easy to get. If you get into his head, then he's off the groove, and that's a loss for the Blues. Like they need to figure that out.
He needs to see a therapist or something. I don't know.
He's also been super streaky this year. He'll post a 9.
He's been like bad.
He's been not
most of the season.
He's been not great.
Yeah.
But then he'll throw games where he is
you're
like
right.
a 9.7 save percentage. Right. So he has it in him. It's
just like everybody was so hyped on him, and now I see his own teammates have done interviews where it's just like he's ruining it for us too, because he's taking dumb penalties. He's just like not really playing well because he's like trying to chirp the other team, or he's trying to take shots at the other team, and then they score on him because he's not set correctly. He tried to hype
in this scenario. He tried to hype up the crowd when he got thrown out of the game, and he had let in 5 goals at that point. Yeah.
And it's like, your fans aren't stupid. You can hype up the crowd and be that guy that like sometimes takes like these kinds of penalties if you play really well otherwise.
Here's the thing. I do love it because the league
hockey needs more attitude.
Well, it needs more villains.
That too.
And
I think it just needs more attitude, just kind of in general.
He's being a perfect villain.
Yeah, I just wish he would back it up. Like if this was like Andrei Vasilevsky doing this, and then playing like Andrei Vasilevsky, everybody would fucking hate him, but Tampa Bay fans would love him.
Right. It's the same with Marchand. It's the same with Wilson. It's the same with like any other.
But like Marchand and Wilson back it up.
Hard-nosed, like.
And also, as far as I'm aware, Marchand and Wilson are nice men off the ice. I don't know that as much about Wilson, but I know Marchand is.
I know. Bennington. There was a goalie, like a high school goalie, that had his finger cut off by a skate.
Yeah. And Bennington kicked him.
Well, and then Bennington reached out and did the.
Okay, that's really nice.
Exactly.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe he's a nice guy off the ice too, but I don't know. It's hard to believe it when you see him do the shit that he does.
I mean, look at Marchand.
That's true. Yeah.
Marchand still has a
LGBTQ ally Brad Marchand.
Right.
That's not even a joke.
No.
I'm not joking.
And then he still has people. It's like, oh man, he hasn't been dirty in years. He got fined 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. No, he's still doing that shit. It's just like you're just used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just used to it now. All right, let's finish off the Central really quick by talking about Winnipeg. They went 1-3 this week.
Uh-oh.
Not good for them. Losing Carolina 5-3, losing to Boston 3-0. They did beat Nashville in overtime 3-2. Ehlers had a goal and an assist. Morrissey 2 assists, and Bianc, love that guy's name, had the overtime game winner, and then they got shut out by St. Louis.
I saw
2 shutouts against this week.
I saw Shen feed Ehlers his lunch.
Oh, in that fight?
Yeah. Oh man.
I watched that today, and I looked away from the screen for a second, so it was just in my periphery, and I saw a punch get thrown and a helmet fly off. And I thought it was the guy's head moving over to that direction, and I was like, "What the fuck was that punch?" And I was like, "Did he just take his head off?"
Shen just fed him fists.
Let's not discount Ehlers, because the punch I'm talking about was Nick Ehlers' punch.
Ehlers
landed a couple good punches too.
Ehlers had a good couple punches, but Shen really
but those were better punches than I would have expected a player like Nick Ehlers to deliver. But yeah, that's really it for Winnipeg. They did not have a good week. I'll save all my news for the end.
All right, we're gonna start with Pacific.
Okay. Stay in the West.
We're talking about the Abbotsford Canucks, because I'm going alphabetical by AHL.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's great.
That was cool.
The nitro.
I love the Guinness cans. They're so fun.
Because they got the nitrous.
Yeah, to make it smoother.
Nitro ball or whatever.
A little ball in there, yeah.
I'm going AHL affiliate alphabetical.
Oh my god. Okay.
I had this plan like a couple of weeks ago, but it's
jeez, oh man.
But yeah. So, Abbotsford
Canucks.
Surprisingly, they're the Oilers. No, they aren't.
Oh.
No, they are.
I was going to say, there are some teams that have the exact same team nickname.
And this is the same one.
Like
it's Vancouver.
The Penguins have the same team nickname, at least for the AHL
All right, so Vancouver, 3-1 this week. Their only loss was to Arizona.
Hell yeah.
They started by beating Dallas, like you said, 5-2. Because again, Demko is back.
Oh, that's right. What a difference one competent starting goalie can make.
He was in net for the loss against Arizona, but otherwise, Demko's back.
I mean, it wasn't. It was a 5-2 loss, right?
It was 3-2.
3-2. Okay,
3-2.
I was gonna say I thought that was kind of close, but 5-2 was the Dallas game.
But, yeah, 5-2 was the Dallas game. He had a 9-2-6. Besser had 3 assists in that game against Dallas. And then against Arizona, like you mentioned, 2-3 loss.
Jim Rutherford's like, thank God I didn't trade these guys. Look how good we're playing now.
Look how good we're playing. But Villiers had 2 assists in that game.
Hell yeah.
They were 1 for 3 on the penalty kill. Bert probably mentioned that. Yep. Then they beat LA in a shootout. Demko still in net. They were outshot 17-40. So yes,
a lot of that happening this week already.
So yeah, Demko's back.
Demko's back, baby.
Gets them that shootout win.
Trade him to the Pittsburgh Penguins next year.
And then they beat Anaheim 2-1, where Vancouver did the outshooting Anaheim 40-18. So they reversed it.
Jeez.
And then
they only got 2 goals out of that.
And then Dillia was in net because Gibson stood on his head.
Chris D'Elia.
Yes, Chris D'Elia.
Crazy career trajectory that he's had.
Special teams was was average on the power play. Their penalty kill was average for them, so it was 8 for 11.
Right on money for Vancouver there.
Yeah. They do have 2 top players. It is Elias Pettersson and JT Miller. They both had 6 points.
Pretty good.
Pettersson had 3 goals, 3 assists, and Miller had 2 goals, 4 assists. Again, a lot of the clowning that was on JT Miller was all defensive.
It's all his defensive.
It's all
the man can score.
The man scores. So
I don't think anybody has ever been like, man, he's really good at defense.
Right, and that's
because there's some forwards who are good at both,
Pettersson,
Patrice Bergeron, Sidney Crosby, guys like that, who are good at both ends. But
Miller will put up 100 points.
Yeah,
he'll put up 100 points,
but he'll have a minus 25 against.
Right, exactly. So yeah.
The Phil Kessel playbook.
This is the run from it, dread it. The Vancouver winning late in the season to take him out of it
to ruin their
draft pick. Yeah.
Where they'll somehow only miss the playoffs by 2 points. Somehow they'll be like, "Ooh, we're gonna do it," and then they just won't. Just like last year.
Just stay in mediocrity. They're not coming close this year.
No.
Because again, or not again. I didn't say it at the first time. They are 31, 33, and 5. That's good for 67 points. That's 6th in the division. 5th place has 77.
How many points do they have again?
67. So that's a 10-point.
They're right up on them.
That's a 10-point difference.
Right up on them.
With
that's
11 games left.
That's close.
No, it's not that close. All right. Next up is the Bakersfield Condors.
Oh, wait. Can I guess?
Yeah, you can
guess.
These 2,
Bakersfield Condors. That's one of the California teams, right? Scott, no? Bakersfield is in California. I'm going to guess it's Anaheim.
It's not. It's Edmonton.
Oh. Is there a Bakersfield in Alberta too, I guess? Yeah.
There has to be.
I think there's a Bakersfield in California.
There has to be. I feel like you're right.
Sure, yeah.
But this is in
damn it.
This is in Edmonton's domain. The Oilers went 3-0 this week. They are 39, 23, and 8. That is good for 76 points, which is that's 86 points.
That's pretty good.
My handwriting's bad. It's 86 points.
Handwriting is pretty bad.
That is 3rd in the division right now. They overtook Seattle. They are solidly in 3rd. Seattle is in that wild card spot.
Come on, Seattle.
They started their week by beating Ottawa 6-3. Skinner played all three of these games.
All these goals.
All these goals. I mean, there were a lot of goals that Skinner let in.
Well, I mean, Edmonton does not play defense.
6-3 win against Ottawa, where Draisaitl had 2 goals in that game. They were, you know what? Never mind. That's fine. Whatever. Next up is.
Oh, what are you talking? Are you telling me McDavid didn't have 2 goals in the game? Washed.
You know who their Edmonton's top player is? 3 goals, 4 assists.
Of course.
Then they beat Dallas 4-1.
I want you to start telling me when he's not their top scorer.
I do.
Yeah, I know you do, but I want to be more plain.
I try hard. I brought in Evan Bouchard last week.
Oh, that's true. You're right.
Skinner was 25 for 26 in the Dallas game. McDavid had 1 goal and 1 assist, and they were 4 for 3 on the penalty kill. Then they beat Seattle 6-4. Evander Kane had a hat trick in that game.
Nice.
And they were outshot by Seattle 23-37.
That's pretty surprising, actually.
Yes. Yeah. Like I already said, it's you know who it is. It's the Hart winner, the Rocket Richard winner. It's
blah 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 blah.
3 goals, 4 assists. Next
out
up,
in the first round.
Next up is the Calgary Wranglers.
Ooh, who is there?
Who is there?
Oh, I'm gonna guess it's Calgary.
It'd be so funny
if it wasn't.
If it was Edmonton.
If it was Edmonton, yeah,
oh man, that'd be the funniest thing in the world. Yeah. The Wranglers.
The Wranglers.
Calgary has a rodeo that they're very proud of. So Wranglers.
I thought they used to have I thought their AHL teams used to be called the Stampede?
Probably. It's yeah.
Okay. Well, it was for the same reason because they have the big old rodeo.
Big old rodeo. They went 1-0-2 this week.
Points in every game.
We talked about 2 of those games against the Central.
Yeah, we did.
They are 31, 24, and 15. That's 77 points. That's 5th.
10 points ahead of Vancouver.
They started the week by losing to Arizona in overtime, like Bert mentioned.
Yes.
Markstrom had an .840 save percentage.
Great. That's really good.
-1 for 2 on the power play. They were they outshot Arizona, like you said, 45-25. So that's at least 20.
Yeah. That's a lot.
At least 20 games where they outshot their team by 10 and lost.
Oh my God.
Which is already the record, or at least tied the record.
That's insane. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was last week when they hit 19. So they might be at 21. They're either at 20 or 21 games where they outshot by 10.
It's just so
and
silly.
Then lost. Then they beat Vegas 7-2. Kicked the shit out of Vegas.
Look at them.
Markstrom looked like. Never mind.
Markstrom was invisible in that game.
Well, I was gonna say Markstrom played great, and then I actually looked at the shot line, and no, he didn't.
Oh.
Blake Coleman had 2 goals in this game.
Nice.
They outshot Vegas 30-19, so he let in 2 goals on 19 shots.
Yeah, that's not great. That's under 900.
It is. It's like it's 895.
Ay.
But some goalies definitely get taken out of it if they're not busy.
That's true. Yeah.
So like a high volume, you can like get focused and get into it.
Yeah. Less shots. Take less shots, other teams.
Sometimes.
Oh my God.
Boom.
Boom.
That was me. And then the 6-5 overtime loss against Dallas.
Yeah.
Which again, 38-26 shots. Add another one to outshoot them by 10 and lose. So that's either 21 or 22.
What a weird skill that Calgary has.
Another weird skill is they have lost at least, this might have been after the Arizona game, 24 games, 1-goal games. They've lost 24 1-goal games.
That's just unfortunate.
Might be 25 with this Dallas loss. Yeah.
That's going to be one of those things that, like, next year they'll be like, but look, they lost 25 1-goal games. So, like, that could have been 25 wins right there.
I think next year they might bounce back really hard.
Maybe.
because again, Markstrom is having.
It seems like a growing pains year. They had a lot of like weird turnover.
Markstrom is having the worst year of his career, hands down.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'll hope for a bounce back because last year he played very well.
He was in the conversation for Vezina.
That's true. Oh yeah, that's right.
Because of shutouts.
Yeah, because he had like 11 or something.
At least 11. Yeah. He might have had 13 shutouts.
He had a lot of shutouts. Yeah, it's just this year he was like, oops.
Yep. Rasmus Anderson had a goal and 2 assists in the Dallas loss. And Rasmus Anderson is their top player with 1 goal and 5 assists. So he's
going for him.
They were putting up points. So they scored 3, they scored 7, and they scored 5. So they're putting up the points, but their defense and goalie are just letting
more points in.
And both of their goalies are in a funk because they played Markstrom all 3 games. You would have thought they put Vladar in, but Vladar's not doing great either. So
yeah, that sucks. I mean, because he was playing okay earlier this year. Vladar
okay, and he had a good year last year.
Yeah, they both did last year. So I don't know. It's just growing pains here for them.
All right, next up is the Coachella Valley Firebirds.
Coachella Valley Firebirds?
Mm-hmm.
That's not Seattle, is it?
It is.
It is Seattle?
It is.
Okay.
Good job.
I was like, I know I've heard that name. I thought it was, I was thinking it was like kind of a newer one. Because I remember thinking, like, that's a weird place for Seattle's far
Coachella,
Coachella, yeah. Because Coachella's in California, I think, right?
I think so.
Yeah. It's in the desert somewhere.
I don't think Coachella's in the desert.
Oh, I'm thinking of Burning Man.
You're thinking of Burning Man.
Kind of the same thing.
Oh. All right, Seattle. 1-2 this week, which is why they fell out of that 3rd spot. They are 38, 24, and 7. That's 83 points. And Edmonton has 86. So they're
not that far back.
Edmonton's putting some distance, though.
Yeah. It helps when you have a player that's on pace for like 160 points or something.
Well, they have 2.
And then another player that's on pace for 120 points.
Edmonton Edmonton had the first 2 100-point players this season with McDavid and then Draisaitl.
Stupid.
Tampa had
Kucherov did it too.
Tampa had the 3rd 100-point player so far this season.
There's a few other players that are creeping up towards.
They're creeping up to it, but those are the first 3.
I like it when there's a lot of 100-point scorers. Makes it more fun.
Yeah.
It means there's more scoring, which is always better in my opinion.
Don't get me wrong. I really like defense, but multiple 100-point scorers.
That's also fun.
Is very fun.
But it's especially fun when that defense shuts down those multiple 100-point goal scorers in a series. So,
all right.
Shout out Winnipeg.
Dallas is up first, or Seattle lost to Dallas 2-5.
I was like, wait, Dallas is my team.
Vince Dunn had 2 assists in that game. Seattle was 1 for 4 on the penalty kill.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. There's your problem.
There is your problem. Then they beat San Jose 2-1 in overtime. Vince Dunn again had the 1 goal, but that was the overtime game winner.
Nice.
Grubauer had a .969 save percentage, so he had a very good game. And then they lost to Edmonton, like I just said, 4-6. They did play 2 goalies. Grubauer was 7 for 10, and then Jones was 10 for 13. So not good either.
No.
But I will get to why I bring that up later.
Okay.
Penalty kill was 5 for 9.
That's not great.
Well, I mean,
3 of those were in one game.
Yeah, but then they lost another one down the line. So Vince Dunn is their top player with a goal and 3 assists. Moving on to the Henderson Silver Knights.
I think you can
figure this one out. Yeah, they were 2-1 this week. Really solidifying that first place in the Pacific.
Yeah.
43, 21, and 6.
It wasn't questioned for a little bit.
It very much.
They
much was.
righted their ship.
92 points. That's first overall. Beating Philadelphia 5-3. Quick in net there, going 900. 2 for 4 on the power play. Marchessault had 1 goal and 2 assists. Then they got stomped by Calgary, so Quick was in net there. So that's looking like the rest of the year Quick, except for that 1 week in November.
No, not my story.
He came back to earth. Smith had a goal and an assist in that game. Is that Morgan or Riley? I think it's Morgan.
No. It's Riley Smith.
It's Riley Smith. Yeah.
No, you're thinking of Morgan Riley.
Yes.
Who is a defenseman on Toronto. Yeah. There was another. Oh, wait, isn't the one that I think he passed away? The other Smith.
I'm not thinking of him.
He did a PTO with the Penguins and then tragically passed away.
Oh, okay. That's rough.
I think, unless it was Riley Nash.
Riley Nash is still alive.
Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had a goal and assist in that
really
game.
Quick.
All right, and then they finished the week by stomping. So they got stomped by Calgary, then they stomped Columbus. And in that game, I know they were playing Patrick Laine in center. It didn't work out. And Patera was in net for that game, and he had a 9.46. So Patera's only played 2 games, and he's done very well. Eichel had a hat trick in that game as well. So they were 4 for 10 on the power play over the week. But Pietrangelo is their top player. He had a 4-point game against Columbus, and he had 5 assists, all 5 assists in the week.
Jimmy Hayes is who I was talking about.
Gotcha. So Alex Pietrangelo is their top player with 5 assists.
Pietrangelo.
Next up is the Ontario Reign.
The Ontario Reign?
Yeah.
Oh,
Reign.
wait. That's Ontario, California. That's LA.
Yes.
Yes.
And also Reign is REIGN.
Yes.
Like a king reigns.
Like the king.
2-0-1 this week for the Kings.
All right.
40, 20, and 10. They're 90 points. They're only
4 points ahead of
2 points back on Vegas.
Oh, okay. I was going to say 4 points ahead of Edmonton.
Yes,
yeah.
2 points back on Vegas.
Close race there.
Very close
Edmonton's
race.
not that far back,
Nope.
back from first.
They started the week by beating the Islanders 5-2. The Islanders did a West Coast road trip.
Yes, they did.
Korpisalo in net there. Gavrikov.
Hey.
Got 2 assists in this game.
Look at him.
Then they played Columbus, who also went on a West Coast road trip.
Yeah, they did. Weirdly, Columbus and the Islanders, I don't know if they had a group on so they could all go together.
Must have. Beat them 4-1. Copley was 29 for 30. Grundstrom had a goal and an assist in that game. And
Carl?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And then they lost to Vancouver in the shootout with Korpisalo. Again, getting outshot 40-17. Outshooting them 40-17.
Yeah.
Where, again, Korpisalo let in 2 goals on 17 shots. It's not what you want.
Hell yeah. Thank God they traded their franchise stalwart for him and pissed off a bunch of people.
I mean, he's still playing better than Quick.
2 goals on 17 shots.
He's still playing better than Quick.
I mean, yeah, but it's funnier when I say it.
I know. 0 for 1 on that penalty kill. That game. That's what
I
happens.
always, whenever that happens in a game, I'm always like, should I write that down? Should I mention that? Because it's just one.
It's just one. There's a couple actually that was just like
there's
0 for 1.
There's at least one for me too. Oh, I'm looking at it right there.
Yeah. And then Carl Grundstrom is their top player.
Hey.
2 goals and an assist.
All right.
Because they had 10 players that had 2 points.
I guess at least their scoring is spread out.
The scoring was so spread out.
That's depth, baby. That's depth.
They scored 5 goals, then 4 goals, then 2 goals. And then they had 10 players that had 2 points.
That's pretty crazy, actually. Yeah.
And Grundstrom was the top with 3 points.
The king of the mountain.
The king of the mountain. All right. The San Diego Gulls.
That one's Anaheim.
Anaheim. Yeah. That's the other bird.
Because I know it. I know who San Jose's is. Bird team.
San Jose's easy.
Yeah, other Marine bird team.
All right, they lost to the Islanders 3-6.
Waterfowl.
Shattenkirk had 2 goals in this game.
What?
Yeah, he did.
That motherfucker.
2 goals. 2 out of their 3 goals were Shattenkirk.
I constantly have to be reminded that he is still in the league.
Gibson tried his best.
I could have sworn he retired a couple years ago.
He did not.
So funny.
He's getting that paycheck. Then
hey, good for him.
Then Columbus came to town because again, Islanders, Columbus,
Yep.
Islanders, Columbus for everyone but San Jose. Columbus came first for that one.
Weird.
I know.
I don't like it.
They kicked the Ducks kicked the shit out of Columbus. Damn it! God damn it, Ruthie.
She'll bring it to us in a second.
7-4. Dustle was in net there. The Ducks were 2 for 4 on the penalty kill. Scott Harrington, that pickup, waiver wire pickup,
baby,
from the Timo Meier trade to the Devils.
Hell yeah!
2 goals.
At least Scott Harrington, I guess, hopefully wasn't on a flight. I think we said that.
Yeah, hopefully he was not flying.
Hopefully he wasn't on a flight. He just had to drive down. Was it the 5? I think on the West Coast.
Yes.
It's 95 on the East Coast.
Yeah,
I think it's the 5 on the West Coast.
Yeah. So Scott Harrington had 2 goals that game.
Damn.
Yeah.
Paying dividends.
What
a pickup off the waiver wire.
And then
why was he in that trade? If you're gonna immediately put him on waivers, it must have been for like contract number.
It
stuff.
must have been.
I just kind of feel bad for him. He's got to be like, why was I traded?
Right.
He put me on waivers immediately, and now I'm just on Anaheim.
Right. I mean, he went to a better team.
Okay, yeah, that's true actually.
Because the
San Jose Barracudas are in last place.
The Ducks are. Yeah, they are. The Ducks are 23-37 and 10.
For sure.
That's 56 points. That's 7th in the league. Ryan Strome and Troy Terry are their top players because they both had 4 points in those 3 games. Strome had 2 goals and 2 assists, and then Terry had a goal and 3 assists. Yep.
All right. Tory Terry.
It's only when he's bad.
Oh, you're right.
It's only when he's bad.
It's Troy when he's a good boy.
Exactly. What Bert mentioned is up last.
This is the only one I knew for sure.
The San Jose Barracuda.
Yeah.
The Sharks. 1-2 this week.
Yeah.
19, 37, and 14.
And still they're going to give the Norris to Carlson. I know they are.
Yeah, probably.
Just because he has a bunch of points.
Probably, unfortunately.
It's just like, it's so frustrating.
His plus minus isn't that bad.
Sometimes the Norris absolutely goes to who deserves it.
Like Fox,
the best defenseman.
And Saros.
Nope.
Yossi.
Fox, Yossi. But even them, you could be like, how good are they actually defensively? Because they're defensemen. What the Norris has turned into is like
best offensive.
What defenseman has the most points?
Yeah.
And I've seen a couple of people, I think specifically the hockey guy, shout out on YouTube, has said like there needs to be like a defensive defenseman trophy too, because there are good defensemen in the league that never get talked about because they don't score a lot, they just play good defense.
I love guys like basically the Devils, like Marino, like Siegenthaler, like guys
you don't hear about them a lot because they don't score a lot, but they're playing solid defense. They're just doing their job.
Exactly. And
a lot of times, if you don't hear a defenseman's name in a game, it's because they're doing their job.
There's some good young defensemen, like defensive defensemen on Montreal.
Yeah.
So they'll be exciting in the future.
It just has annoyed me in the past. It'd be like, but that guy is actually the best defenseman. He's just a forward who's playing defenseman.
Defense, yes. Let's finish up with San Jose.
That was my mini rant there.
They played Columbus to start the week. They lost to Columbus in overtime. Couture had a goal and 2 assists, and they were outshot by Columbus 32-48.
Jesus, that's a lot of shots.
That's a lot of shots. Kakkonen was 42 for 48. Then they lost to Seattle in overtime as well. 1-2 loss there. Reimer, who didn't want to participate in the...
Okay, wait, I have something to say about that.
Didn't want to participate in the Pride Night, like Provorov.
Just like exactly like Provorov. Finish up with them, and then we'll talk about
Eklund had the only goal in that game.
Oh, that's their young kid, right?
Yes, yes. He had their only goal in that game.
William? Is it William Eklund?
It sounds right.
I think
it sounds right.
I think that's it. He's their big time forward prospect.
Yes. Yeah. Then they lost to the Islanders 4-1.
Woo.
Gave up a shorthanded goal there.
Nice.
LeBlanc. Yeah, LeBlanc.
Yeah.
1 goal. He had the goal.
He had the one.
He had the one. They were perfect. Nope. They were 10 for 11 on that penalty kill.
That's pretty close.
Yeah. They were almost perfect. And then Couture is their top player. 1 goal and 3 assists.
All right. Over a point per game.
Like
let's talk about Reimer.
Let's talk about
I'm
Reimer.
getting so tired of this, and you guys have heard me say this before. I get it. You're like, oh, my religion says I'm supposed to be a dick to gay or trans people, so I'm not going to wear the rainbow shirt. Shut up. You're just hiding behind your religion to be a bigot, and I'm tired of it, and I'm tired of not saying anything about it. So shut up.
Here's the thing. I like what San Jose did.
Oh, I like what the team did, yeah.
Because they
did it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Every other player wore the jersey.
Every other player, they're just like, he made his... Even Couture said he made his decision. Every other player made theirs.
Yep.
So...
Yep. Couture came out with a statement. The team itself came out with a statement that were pretty much against Reimer.
Right.
And and Reimer put out a statement that was really funny because it was really hypocritical.
Oh, 100%.
Because he somewhere was like, I'm all for the hockey being for everybody and everybody being able to play, but my personal convictions as a Christian means that I can't support it. Bro, it's just a shirt with a rainbow on it.
And then he brought Kadri into the mix, where like it'd be the same as like wearing like a he wouldn't wear like a Islam or Muslim thing, supporting jersey. Yeah. It's just like,
I would,
dude.
Like you just made it worse for yourself.
Exactly.
You already look like a dick because you're the only one not doing it on your team, and the team is basically calling you a dick.
Yeah.
And now you said some weird anti-Muslim thing too, and it's just like, now you're just making it worse for yourself. At least silver lining for Provorov, he didn't say that.
Right. Well, also like everyone was making excuses for Provorov with him being Russian.
Nope, the Sharks were like, no.
Reimer's Canadian.
Oops, sorry.
He's not Russian, so like...
Well, they shouldn't have been making excuses for Provorov. Anyway, I don't care.
Agreed.
And Brian Burke, who heads who's the
Penguins
president of hockey operations for the Penguins, but he is also the head of Hockey is for Everybody, or whatever it's called. The thing that sets up all the pride nights around the league. And he came out and he was like, I'm actually surprised he hasn't said anything before this point.
Yeah.
And he was like, it's really disappointing because the point isn't that you're super for LGBTQ stuff. It is just to show that those people are welcome in the game.
Right. Like,
and you yourself are saying they're not.
Right.
And that's
it's not about you.
It's not
just
about
wear the jersey.
There is a subreddit called I Am the Main Character, and I actually think that Reimer got posted on there this week.
Cool.
It's not a hockey subreddit. I'm just saying it's just so. Why do you care? Why does anybody care?
Hey,
why do you care so much?
So Grubauer.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah,
Grubauer. If you look at his masks, he has a cross on the back of his jersey, or back of his mask.
Helmet. There is more than one of those guys. Yeah.
He wears the jersey
because he's not high on his own farts.
Right.
You know. Jesus. And it's just like, it makes me mad because I had to look it up because Brian Burke is part of the Penguins organization. I was like, I don't even remember them doing a Pride Night. Now, after I looked it up, I did because they did it with Buffalo. They both did it in the same game. And, you know what's really weird? Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
I mean, people cared, but like, nobody said anything. Nobody was like, oh, I'm not going to support these teams anymore. Well, there's probably some dumbasses who said that, but...
But I really...
This is all Provorov's fault. He started this.
I really respect the Wild... Not the Wild.
The Sharks.
The Sharks.
I do not respect the Wild.
I don't.
Because they canceled it.
Exactly, because I was going to bring them up in the with them and the Rangers for canceling it because they were
you
worried.
guys are cowards.
Yeah, exactly. So the Sharks and their captain Couture stood by, like, it's just like, hey, we're doing this.
Yeah.
His thoughts are his thoughts.
He can just sit in the locker room by himself since he's ostracizing himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. We're done with that.
Yeah. Oh, wait. One last point. The Pittsburgh Penguins have a very prominent Russian hockey player. He didn't say shit about this. I don't know his thoughts on it.
Right.
It doesn't matter because he wore the jersey.
Right. It's all that matters.
He didn't make a stink.
Ovechkin wears the jersey.
Yeah. Probably the two, at the moment, the two most famous Russian hockey players playing right now.
Kucherov wears the jersey.
The three.
I don't know if they've actually had their Pride Night this year.
Okay, well, let's just say definitely Ovi and Malkin. Both wore the jerseys, didn't say shit about it, went on with their game, you know? It's not that big of a deal. Stop making it about yourself.
Exactly.
And just pointing out that you're a bigot.
The NHL is an international league. The amount of players that wear the military jersey, that's Canada and the U.S. The Canadian military, U.S. military. Come on, they're European
Could you
players.
imagine if one of those European players was like, "I'm not going to wear a thing for the U.S. military."
I want it to happen just once. I want it to be a star.
Congress would try to get him arrested.
I want it to be a star.
I want it to be Crosby.
I want it to be Crosby
or Draisaitl. I want it to be Draisaitl.
Yeah,
or somebody. That's just like, I'm not supporting the military of your country.
Right.
That's just so weird.
Like all the Swiss players at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would be funny.
Not the Swiss, the Sweden players.
No, the Swiss players.
I mean, yeah, but there's more.
It's neutral.
Yes, that is hilarious.
Yeah, that's why I was like, yeah, that's really funny.
Sweden was neutral in World War II too, so it's fine. But yes, there's more Swedish players than Swiss players. That's why.
I got you. Okay, let's end that.
Either way,
get over yourselves, guys who are thinking of doing that. I know you're listening. I know you value my opinion.
I don't have a lot of news or injuries for the Pacific this week.
I didn't either, really, so I saved it all for the end
So
of
Ryan McLeod is day-to-day with an undisclosed.
Who?
McLeod.
Oh,
McLeod?
right.
McLeod?
I think it is
McLeod?
I think it's
McLeod.
No, I think it's McLeod. But it's
Edmonton.
Okay, yeah.
He's day-to-day with an undisclosed. He missed a couple of games, so we'll see what happens going forward. For San Jose, Evgeny Svechnikov is day-to-day with another undisclosed. He missed the last game this week.
God, both Svechnikovs got hurt this week.
Got hurt. For Seattle, Grubauer is day-to-day with an illness. That's why he left that game early. Not because he got yanked, because he was just sick. Like, I can't.
Yeah.
So that's why Jones came in.
Gotcha.
To finish that game.
Well, at least he was cognizant, or at least he was responsible enough to be like, I'm sick, I should not be playing.
And it's just like, I have a cold.
I've
let in 3 goals on
already
on 10 shots. Like,
I'm sick.
I should get out of here. And
it'd be funny if that was his excuse. Like, I had the flu.
And for last up is for Vegas, Keegan Colasar. Day-to-day with an upper body.
Such a sick name.
It's a dope name.
Such a sick name.
He's missed all of this week, and they're hoping he will be back next week.
I hope so, too, because he has a really cool name.
Yes.
And I hope he becomes a star player, because I want to talk about him more, just because I
Keegan
really
Colasar
like his
in
name.
general. All right, I'm done. That's it.
That is it for the Western Conference. Let's move over to the Eastern Conference, starting with the Metropolitan Division. I don't put nearly as much thought into my teams as Clay does, so alphabetical always. Starting with Carolina, going 2-1 this week. I think a better week than they had last week. Had a weirdly off week for them last week, I believe. They beat Winnipeg 5-3. Kotkaniemi had 2 goals and an assist, while Brady Shea had a goal and an assist.
Wow.
Look at him. They then lost to Toronto 5-2, where they outshot Toronto 34-24.
The St. Pats came to play that game.
Oh, that's right.
That was the St. Patrick's Day. That was Toronto wearing their St. Patrick's jerseys.
Carolina was 0-1 on the penalty kill in that game. They then beat Philly in overtime 5-4, where they were 1-1 on the power play in that game. Sebastian Aho had 3 goals, including the overtime game winner.
And he undressed D'Angelo
for
that winner.
Undressing your former teammate that you probably hate. Brady Shea and Martin Necas each had a goal and an assist in that game. And Brady Shea is our top player.
What?
For the Carolina Hurricanes, having 3 goals and 2 assists this week.
Offensive Brady Shea? What is this? That's the dog. That's the dog
hitting the mic. Yeah. I was like, what was that?
That wasn't me.
It sounded like almost like you dropped something down a stairwell.
Yeah.
Right?
In a hallway,
yeah,
far away.
Like not close.
Yep.
That was interesting. That was an interesting noise. Moving on to the Columbus Blue Jackets, going 1-3 this week. Talked about it. All these games already. What?
This is the first week that we've had teams eliminated from the playoffs.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, was it Columbus specifically? Because I think they're in last. Or is Montreal in last?
They were not the first team eliminated. Montreal was not on. It was Montreal. Yeah, you broke my brain.
Sorry.
San Jose was the first team eliminated.
Wow.
Then it was.
It doesn't even say it. Stupid NHL not saying who's
then eliminated. Columbus was eliminated. And then Anaheim was eliminated.
Wow.
They are officially those three teams are officially out.
Look at them. Can I just sidebar really quick? I don't understand how both the NHL and ESPN have horrible websites. You have billions of dollars. Why are your websites so terrible?
ESPN has taken a nosedive in the past decade.
I mean, that's true. But their website has never been good, though.
No.
And I just don't understand it. It takes forever to load, and it's not my internet. It's the same at work when I look stuff up on ESPN. 100%. It's everywhere. And ESPN has ESPN Plus now that has a bunch of NHL games that are posted. ESPN Plus sucks. It's so bad. It takes forever for the streams to load. It's nice because you can pick between the home and away stream.
Yep.
It takes forever to even get to that choice.
I have a pirate website that does the same thing.
I know, but I have ESPN Plus for a family package and yada yada yada. But it's just so all I want to do is look at the standings on ESPN because they say who's eliminated from the playoffs. But this has taken this entire time that I've been bitching about this to get there. And there they are. Thank God.
Yeah, it's only 3 teams so far.
That's crazy. Well, only one team has clinched a playoff spot, and that is the Boston Beat-em-ups.
They clinched it last week.
Anaheim got eliminated too.
No, I knew Anaheim. Chicago's new for me.
Oh, Chicago got eliminated.
Chicago is new for me, getting eliminated.
I guess that makes sense. They have less points than Anaheim.
Yeah.
So 4 teams have been eliminated. 1 in the East, Columbus, and Anaheim, Chicago, and San Jose.
And a lot of teams this week that had playoff hopes, they're not officially eliminated, but they got
I don't know why. I for some reason it didn't click with me that there was only a dozen or so games left for everybody. I guess I just wasn't looking at it. Anyway, we're talking about Columbus.
Sorry, I meant to bring that.
I didn't even know that teams had gotten eliminated yet.
I meant to bring that up in the Pacific.
So 2 teams that clearly have already been eliminated, Columbus and San Jose. We have talked about all these games for Columbus, beating San Jose 6-5 in overtime to start out the week. Johnny Gaudreau had 2 goals and 3 assists. Boone Jenner 2 goals.
Boone.
Lionel and Bayreuther, I don't know, had 2 assists in that game.
Good for him.
Each. They then lost to LA 4-1. Got smoked by Anaheim 7-4. They were 2 for 4 on the power play in that game. And Patrick Laine had a goal and an assist. And then they got smoked again by Vegas.
They tried to play Patrick Laine in the center position against Vegas.
Oh, you said that, yeah.
Yeah, you can see how that worked.
Hey, he had 2 assists in this game.
He had 2 assists. Yeah.
Marchenko had a goal and an assist. But they were 0 for 2 on the penalty kill.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Laine is their top player, though. Goal and 5 assists. They're trying whatever with him right now. I mean, hey, whatever.
I don't blame him at all.
To be fair, Johnny Gaudreau did have 6 points as well, but 5 of them came in one game. Yeah. So I gave it to Laine.
Yeah,
he was more consistent over the week. New Jersey went 1-2-1 this week. Little pooping for the Devils.
Well, here's the thing, as you'll see. They played all 3 games against the Lightning this week.
Oh, that's right. And then their 4th game was against Florida.
Right.
Yeah, so I had forgot about that. They played 3 games against Tampa Bay this week for some reason. Because
Because scheduling's stupid?
Because scheduling is just, like, I guess, hard. They lost to Tampa Bay 4-1 to begin the week. Then losing Tampa Bay again in a shootout this time, 4-3.
Yep.
They outshot Tampa Bay at 35-24.
Yes,
Dawson Mercer had 2 goals and Nico Hischier 2 assists. They lost to Florida 4-2. And then, hey, they beat Tampa Bay finally.
Yeah, they
got that monkey off their back.
They finally beat Tampa Bay.
Where they outshot Tampa Bay 39-24, remarkably similar to the last game.
Yep.
Jesper Bratt had a hat trick in this game. Old Bratwurst. Hischier and Hamilton each had 2 points, and Nico Hischier is their top player. 2 goals, 3 assists.
For that first Tampa Bay loss, the 1-4,
yeah.
They were winning 1-0 for the first half of that game.
Oh, whoopsie.
And then it was experience over youth, that back half of the game.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll happen. But, hey, they got him in the end.
In the end. Which
technically, points-wise, they split.
This could be very much a playoff matchup.
Could be.
So
yeah, could be.
This could be preview.
I would probably take Tampa if I was a betting man in that series, but I guess I don't know.
We'll
just
talk
experience-wise.
We'll talk about playoff matchups after all of this. How about that? Because
they could shift rather dramatically over the next week or so.
Not in the Metro for 2 and 3.
Okay, well, fair enough, not those ones, but for like the wild card in the East could shift pretty dramatically.
100%. But
West too.
But the Devils are playing the Rangers.
Yes, unless one of those two teams craters out and loses like 10 games.
Exactly. Yeah. So we'll talk about that afterwards.
All right, let's talk about the Islanders, who had a good week, 2-1. West Coast swing. We talked about all these games already. They were 3 for 6 on the penalty kill.
That's bad.
With a shorthanded goal.
Well,
which makes it a little bit
good.
Better. Makes it a little, it's not good. It's not good.
No, but it's
better
bad.
than 50%.
Yeah.
They lost to LA 5-2 to begin the week, where Ryan Pulock had 2 assists in that game. They beat Anaheim 6-3. Kyle Palmieri, of all people, had a goal and 3 assists, while Brock Nelson, hate you, had 2 goals. And Parise and Engvall had a goal and an assist.
Yep.
And then they beat San Jose 4-1, where J.G. Pajot had a goal and an assist. Kyle Palmieri is their top player with 2 goals and 3 assists.
Pajot or Pelech should always be in the conversation for Norris.
No, not Pajot.
Not Pajot.
You mean Pelech and Pulock?
Yes, yeah. That's exactly who I mean.
I think they might not be. Well, they might not be because they don't score that much, and also they're on a pair together.
Well, that's what I mean. So, like, those 2 guys are shut down defensive defensemen.
Yeah, but no, they are. Yeah, you're right.
They
score sometimes.
Past couple of years, they've been, bit by the injury bug, but those 2 guys are,
Yeah, they're solid. They're a very, very... they might be the best, one of the better goal
pairs.
Defensive pairs in the league.
I think they're the best, just because of, locking things down.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, you're right.
It's changed over the years just because of age, but them getting older. But still, defensively, those guys are amazing.
Yeah, you're right. The Rangers. Oh, I didn't write down the record. The Rangers are up next. They went 4-0.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they did. They had a good week. They beat Washington 5-3, where Mika Zibanejad had 2 goals, Patrick Kane a goal and an assist, and Vinny Trocheck 2 assists. And then the next 2 games are scribbled out. Then they beat Nashville 7-0.
I will say, and I will always say, Mika Zibanejad
is a bad man.
He's a bad man.
Bad man.
He always scores against the Capitals.
They beat Pittsburgh 4-2, where Chris Kreider, I hate you, had 2 goals.
Hey, Pittsburgh put up a fight in that game.
Vinny Trocheck had 2 assists. Mika Zibanejad had a goal and an assist.
Where's Trocheck from?
They then beat Pittsburgh 6-0, where Zibanejad had a goal and 2 assists. Panarin had 2 goals. Kane and Miller had 2 assists. Tarasenko and Trouba had a goal and an assist. Then they beat Nashville 7-0, where Panarin had a goal and 2 assists. Keandre Miller had 2 goals and 2 assists, and Trocheck, Zibanejad, and Trouba each had 2 points.
I saw something where Panarin fed Kane for the first time since 2017. Finally, because they've been trying to force.
I don't remember what game that was though.
Panarin's been trying to force a goal.
Well, of course.
To Kane.
Of course.
This entire time.
Yeah.
And it is actually been really bad for the Rangers.
Yeah, it has been.
It's been super detrimental to them. That's why they took them off the same line.
It's probably for the best, honestly.
It really is.
Zibanejad is one of their top players this week, having 5 goals and 4 assists. And hey, look, Shesterkin, there he is. 3-0, 167 goals against, 948 save percentage, and a shutout. Philly is up next.
I hate the Rangers.
Yeah, me too. Philly is up next, 1-1. I also hate Philadelphia just because they exist.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
4 for 9 on the penalty kill this week. Oof, for Philly. No shorthanded goals for them, just 4 for 9 straight up. They lost to Vegas 5-3. Yeah, kill that blanket.
Kill it, Ruthie.
They beat Buffalo 5-2.
Yep.
They were outshot by Buffalo 38-22. Oh, and Tippett had a hat trick in that game.
Yes, he did.
There's so many hat tricks this week.
So many hat tricks.
Kevin Hayes and Tony DeAngelo each had 2 assists. Ruthie is currently killing one of her own blankets because no one is paying attention to her.
It's got penguins on it.
Oh, it does. Yeah, that's true. Then they lost to Carolina 5-4.
How she feels about Pittsburgh.
Overtime. Shut up. Lemieux, Cates, and Forrester each had a goal and an assist in that game, while Frost and Tippett each had 2 assists.
Ooh.
Tippett is their top player. 3 goals, 2 assists. Pretty good week for him.
Yes.
All right, and let's finish things off with Washington.
Boo.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Boo earns.
Boo earns. Skip over that one.
Oh, you're skipping over Pittsburgh with
Pittsburgh went 0-3. I don't want to talk about it. Washington went 1-3.
Yeah, no, they're bad.
They were so bad this week. They lost to Montreal 6-4. The stat lines don't matter. They lost to the Rangers 4-2. They lost to the Rangers again 6-0. They make me mad. They make me so mad.
There for the Capitals, there is a very old picture that is in the Capitals font that says, "This team makes me drink."
That's where the Penguins are at right now. Now, here's the thing. Let me just go on a little rant about the Penguins. I don't know why they have not sat Jeff Carter yet.
I don't know why they haven't sat
or Brian Dumoulin, because my boys
Tristan Jarry too.
They can't. DeSmith has not played that much better.
Well, Jarry's obviously playing hurt. He's obviously playing hurt.
I don't I texted with my mom texted me some Penguins related article today, and I was like, maybe they just shouldn't make the playoffs this year. Maybe they just shouldn't.
You're gonna.
And
congratulations.
The one thing I would be worried about would be them firing Sullivan. I don't necessarily think this is all his fault. He's clearly not helping that much by playing Carter and Dumoulin, but he doesn't have that many options right now.
I mean, as a hater, you guys got no prospects coming in.
No, of course not.
You don't have a good farm system,
no.
And that's
they mortgaged all that for Stanley Cups, which they did win. But
that's not Sullivan's fault.
No,
that's Rutherford's fault.
Yeah, that's Rutherford, and then he left because he's a big baby butthole, and then Hextall he made a couple of good acquisitions, but like getting Raquel, I will say, is a good acquisition.
Yeah,
Carter honestly, Carter until this year had been playing great.
Bringing Carter in was very good.
Yeah. And then last year, honestly, Carter played well.
Yeah.
This year, he is just like, I don't know if age has finally caught up with him or what has happened, but like he has just fallen off a cliff.
Right.
And I get it. Like maybe you don't have any more competent centers to play, but like you could cut back his ice time. Something needs to happen here. Like it's really clear. I mean, as a team, they're not playing great defense, but like Carter and Brian Dumoulin specifically are not playing well at all.
Right. So like we'll get into Washington, like I don't know, you might like all coaches have a shelf life.
Yeah.
Some have longer shelf lives than others. For me, Laviolette's shelf life might be coming in. Like
I don't know. I mean, part of me doesn't want them to fire Sullivan, but like maybe that should happen. But like
honestly, as to be completely objective, I think it'd be dumb to fire Sullivan.
I want to say so too. I think he's been more hamstringed by the moves of like the general manager, but like
your guys' big problems is a lack of a farm system right now. And
I mean, we still have our first round pick.
If you have a farm system, Sullivan can work with that just because of his experience with working in the AHL.
Sure.
Like he could work with that. But
well, to be fair, one of the younger guys that has been playing for the Penguins this year, Drew O'Connor, has looked pretty good. I'm hoping that he gets more ice time next year or whatever, but and now they're just getting destroyed by injuries too, but I'll get to that in a second. Let's finish things off with Washington. They went 1-3 this week. They lost to the Rangers 5-3.
Yep.
Hey, look, Matt Irwin had a goal and an assist in that game.
Yes, he did.
Washington then beat Buffalo 5-4 in a shootout where Ovi and Oshie each had a goal and an assist, while Strome had 2 assists.
Yep.
Lost to St. Louis 5-2. As I already mentioned. Sorry, I was burping. And then lost to Minnesota 5-3, as I already mentioned. But Ovechkin had 2 goals and an assist in that game. Strome a goal and an assist, and Wilson 2 assists.
I'm just so happy with Sandin because he's just feeding.
Rasmus Sandin has been playing well.
He's been feeding Ovi his
all
goals.
He needs to do.
Yeah, that's
all he really needs to do. And Ovi's their top player with 3 goals, 3 assists this week.
Carlson should be back next week.
I'm going to talk about Carlson in just a second. So this is all of my news lumped together.
Yep.
There's one kind of overarching thing I want to talk about, but I guess whatever. Unfortunately, Andrei Svechnikov for Carolina is out for the season and the playoffs with I think torn ACL.
Torn ACL. Yeah, this is a big hurt.
That sucks.
He might be out for the beginning of the season next year because
I still think Carolina is a dangerous team.
Yes,
but they have lost a good scoring punch there. Yeah. Lankinen of Colorado is out 4 to 6 weeks with a broken fingy.
No, not the fingy.
Not the fingy. Kulikov of the Penguins has gone to the LTIR with a lower body injury. Yes, that sucks. Talk about that last. The Coyotes signed Josh Doan, son of Shane Doan,
yes,
Coyotes legend, to an entry-level contract.
Yes, they did. He and Josh Doan?
Huh?
The new Doan is Josh?
Josh Doan, yes. Sorry.
So he is leaving Arizona State.
Yeah, there's some of that happening this week where the collegiate season is over and then they're joining their pro teams.
Josh Doan was actually playing at Arizona State.
Oh, so he didn't have to go anywhere.
He's going nowhere.
That's funny.
But yeah, so it's crazy to see like Arizona's retired his dad's number, and now he is, his kid.
And now he's gonna go play there. Yeah. The Flyers front office might be signaling that they're gonna have a shakeup after the year because the CEO, I forget his name, but he did not consult Bobby Clark or Paul Holmgren.
Oh, thank Christ.
About firing Chuck Fletcher and then making Danny Briere the interim general manager. Don't worry, I have that written down.
Okay, cool.
I know exactly what you're laughing about.
I forgot about that.
So he didn't talk to Bobby. There's a third person in there too that I forget who their name is.
But Philadelphia.
But there's like 3 guys in Philly that all used to play for the Broad Street Bullies back in the 70s that refuse to let
update their game,
let the Flyers transition into what the league is now, which has certainly held them back a lot, at least the last 5 years.
Yes.
And because before that you could say, oh, well, they were making the playoffs. They did make a run to the Stanley Cup at one point. But they're definitely holding the team back. They hired on Chuck Fletcher, who did not help.
Nope.
And so apparently the CEO completely sidestepped them and was just like, Danny Briere is the general manager now.
And
so
I didn't realize Chuck Fletcher was the GM of the Wild when they bought out the Parise and Suter contracts. It didn't make sense to do.
Yep.
So
there's like a couple of guys that like are really bad for one team and then go to another team for some reason. Who's the guy who went from Boston to Edmonton and everybody was like, why did Edmonton hire him?
Was it? It wasn't Chiarelli?
Was that who it was? Peter Chiarelli? I think it was.
Yeah.
Because he was the one that traded Sagan. He traded Kessel.
Yeah.
He did all of these things that everybody was like, why did you do that though?
Mm-hmm.
You know. And then Boston finally wised up and was like, get out of here. And then he went to Edmonton, where he didn't fuck them up as bad, but also didn't do a great job with Edmonton either. Yeah. And they're still kind of dealing with the repercussions of that stuff.
Yes.
Where they're still dealing with like not really having a goalie, not really having any defense, you know. And I mean, yeah, they have McDavid and Draisaitl, but like those were like
Hall for Larson 1-for-1.
Yes, specifically that. Excuse me. So some talking heads have speculated that perhaps this means that maybe they'll be like, get out of here, Bobby Clarke. We need to the Flyers need to transition into the modern NHL and not be the one team that still tries to be a dinosaur team.
Yep. Keep talking about Briere.
Let's say that for last.
All right, fine.
I only have a couple more things. We just mentioned John Carlson. He actually revealed he suffered a fractured skull and a severed temporal artery when he got hit in the head by a slap shot earlier this year.
Don't forget they had to reattach his ear.
Oh, that too. I had forgotten about that because honestly, in hindsight, that one probably not as bad as the other two.
So that's John Carlson of the Capitals, not Erik Karlsson.
I said John Carlson.
You said Carlson.
I said John Carlson.
Oh, well, I didn't hear you.
You know what, folks? Listen back. I was right.
Sure. 2 days before Christmas is when he took that shot to the head.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. The Christmas photo looks like he's normal.
A man had a fractured skull.
See, the severed temporal artery.
That's the scarier part.
Is the news to me, because I saw that like the injury is like I knew he had his ear, most of his ear.
I hadn't heard about the fractured skull part either.
The fractured skull, I feel like I knew about, but or if I didn't know about, was just like, yeah, his skull got broke by that shot.
That's scary, dude.
Oh, it's terrifying.
That's scary.
But he actually should be back next week.
Yes. Yes, all of this leading up to, he is almost back. So that's good. I'm glad he has made a full recovery. Jan Ruda of the Pittsburgh Penguins is week to week with a lower body injury. And don't worry, Marcus Pettersson is also going to the LTIR with Dmitry Kulikov with a lower body injury for Pittsburgh too. Yay, no defense for Pittsburgh.
Nope.
All right. Let's finish off at least this news before we head over to the Atlantic by talking about Danny Briere, new interim general manager of the Philadelphia Flyers.
His son.
What is his first name? Carson Briere. So he plays at Mercyhurst, or he did. I don't know if he will continue to. He was out at a club with a bunch of other Mercyhurst players at like a pretty packed club. And he was coming up from the bathroom. The bathroom was down at the bottom of the stairs in this bar or club, wherever he was. And there was an empty wheelchair sitting at the top.
Yes, there's that. So there was, from my picking up of the story,
it was empty for a reason.
It was empty because the person occupying it had to be carried down
the stairs to go to the bathroom.
Yes.
And it was a disabled woman.
And I think he was he asked to bring it down? Maybe. I think he was asked to bring it down.
I don't know why he would be.
It's like, hey, could you? One of those like, hey, do you mind bringing that down?
I don't think that. I didn't hear anything about that.
Either way, but if he was, this is how he did it.
Either way, it didn't look like it, because it looked like he got, from the video I watched, it looked like he got to the top of the stairs, was talking to two other people he knew, and then pointed at it, sat down in it, fucked around in it a little bit. His other two friends kind of walked away. He stood up and then just pushed it down the stairs.
Yeah, that I do know.
He just pushed it down the stairs.
He was giving it to her.
I don't think he was asked to bring it downstairs, because that wouldn't make any sense.
It wouldn't make any sense.
But he pushed it down the stairs. And new to this podcast, about an hour ago, he is being charged with disorderly conduct.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that
cool.
just came out. So yeah. And so Danny Briere had to make a statement. This is right after Danny Briere was made the general manager.
Immediately after.
And I was like, is he about to get fired for some dumb shit that his son did?
No, he
did not. No, But like it wouldn't surprise me.
He had to make a comment about how he was shocked
like,
about how
he was like, "Oh, I'm horrified from that." I'm like, "Your son's a piece of shit."
Yeah, I know.
And like his son was like, "Oh, I don't know." Like, okay, you're a dumbass. Well, apparently he got kicked off of ASU's team.
Yes, he did.
I don't know, just generally being a shitbag.
It was game misconduct. And well, what Carson has said about the ASU stint, he was just like, yeah, I was more interested in partying than I was in hockey. So that's why.
Oh, look, you still are. So.
Well, he was at least in this instance taking the blame of like, yeah, like I deserve to get kicked off that ASU team. Well, and then he
probably gonna get kicked off of Mercyhurst.
He might be getting kicked off
and just kicked out of it, the NCAA in general.
Yeah, that's not good.
I'm sure you'll still make it to the NHL.
I mean, if he's good enough, of course he will.
I don't know. I haven't heard of him until now. So I hadn't heard about him until now. So
I don't hear a lot of prospects. So
not usually, not unless they're like real big time prospects,
like Bedard.
Like Bedard, yeah. But yeah.
Great week for Flyers.
Yeah, it's really banner week for the Flyers. PR wise,
he's not even signed for the Flyers.
No, he's not. I don't even know if he's been drafted or anything.
No, he hasn't.
No.
But your dad just becomes the interim GM, so all eyes are on you.
And your dad's probably like all excited, like, oh, I get to be the interim GM.
He's like, look what your kid did.
A team that I played for like a lot, I played well for, and I get to be the GM now. And Carson pushed the wheelchair.
It's like, come on.
You had to think his first thought was like, thank God, at least nobody was in the wheelchair. At least it was an empty wheelchair. Like, fucking jeez, oh man.
All right.
Tell me about the Atlantic.
All right, we're going to start off with the Bellevue Senators.
Well, that's Ottawa.
It's actually Toronto.
No, it isn't. Shut up. I know Toronto is the Marlies.
I know. All right, 0-2-1.
0-2-1.
So they had playoff hopes at the deadline. They have kind of gone away.
The East wild card has become kind of a 3-horse race for both spots.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Because Cam Talbot got hurt. Yeah. And they're dealing with their third and fourth string goalies.
And apparently Matt Sogard doesn't know how to cover a puck or something.
Something like that.
According to the referee.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Look, if I'm DJ Smith and
I would be mad. I would be pretty mad about this.
I'd be ejected.
Yeah.
Is like the fact that he didn't get...
what are you talking about? Why was that a goal?
The fact that he didn't get ejected is...
Fire.
Basically, like, fight for your players more. Just because you sarcastically applaud every time they call an icing for the rest of the game doesn't make up for it. Because that's what he did.
Hey, let's circle back to the Penguins. I've seen Mike Sullivan red in the face, bitching out the ref getting kicked out of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Throw shit on the ice.
I've seen him because Mike Sullivan has quite a large mouth. No shade to Sully, but he has a big mouth.
Yeah.
Like literally. You can see what he's saying very clearly.
If I was in that position, the Gatorade cooler would be on the ice.
I'd just be punching refs.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I'm wearing a suit. Like, I don't want to ruin that.
No, I'm punching refs.
A lot of these refs are former goons. No.
That's a good point. That's a good point, actually.
But yeah, like, throw shit on the ice. Like, get fined. Get
in there. Get muddy.
Ejected
get dirty.
For that call. Because they won't make it against you.
Yeah, they'll think twice about doing that again.
Yeah, they won't do it again.
Well, I think if I did this again, that guy might actually murder me.
Right.
So,
you think John Cooper won't murder some guy? Like, yeah, he plays it cool a lot of the time, but he might murder somebody.
Do you remember the old coach of Tampa Bay? I think his name was Guy something. And but he had that giant scar on his face.
Old coach of Bouchard. It's Bouchard.
Oh yeah, Guy Bouchard. Yeah, you're right.
Because he was Ottawa's old coach.
That's right. And he had this big scar down his face, which made him look like a hitman.
He looked like a Bond villain.
And
straight up, he looks like a Bond villain.
He apparently would not tell anybody what that scar was from.
No.
And there is some speculation that it was from like a dog attack or something, but. Either way, he would not tell people. It was a very intimidating looking scar. He'd be like, "Oh, okay."
No, it's the Michael K. Williams scar too.
Yeah,
like just down the front of the face, looks like it could have been from Escape Blade. But, like, he looks like a Bond villain.
Yes.
All right, so they went 0-2-1. We've talked about all these games but one so far. The 3-6 loss against Edmonton. Sogard was in net for all three of these games. Stutzla had 2 goals against Edmonton. They did score a shorthanded goal.
Good old German boy.
He's amazing. Then they lost 4-5 to Colorado, where, again, stuff should have been thrown on the ice by the bench. Stutzla had 3 assists in that game. And, again...
Getting the feeling that Stutzla was their best player this week. Yeah.
You'd be right. Johansson for Colorado made this stupendous save at the end of the game to stop, like, to keep the win in regulation. And then they lost in a shootout to Toronto to finish the week. 1 for 2 on the penalty kill, but they did have a shorthanded goal as well. Tkachuk is their top player in that game with 2 goals, and they outshot Toronto 52-29.
Oh my God!
And they lost in the shootout.
Hell yeah, that's a game right there.
Adjusted, they are 7 for 9 on the penalty kill.
All right.
But unadjusted, they're 5 for 8.
Ooh, wait.
Sorry.
5 for 9?
Nope. 7 for 8 on the penalty kill adjusted. 5 for 8 unadjusted.
Look, that is much worse.
Yes. I heard me say 9.
I was like, wait, they got a penalty taken away?
I said 9. That's my bad. Stutzla is their top player with 3 goals, 4 assists. Again, they're putting up the points. They're
just not stopping them.
Mandalise got sent back down to the AHL, and they called up another guy.
They're like, this isn't working.
Yeah.
Go back down there.
He didn't play this week, but it was all Sogard. But exactly, like Mandalise, you go back.
Go back.
So they let in 6 goals, 5 goals, and 5 goals. So that's 16 goals in 3 games.
Yeah, that's bad.
And you're scoring 11.
You know what? The Penguins let in the same amount of goals
in 3
games, yeah.
But did they score 11 points?
No.
Yeah.
No, they did not. They scored 6.
Offensively, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Just defensively.
If they had Talbot and Forsberg.
Maybe.
Talbot was playing great before the
That's true, but like
injury.
you can be the best goalie, but if your defense isn't playing well in front of you, you're not going to do well. I.e., John Gibson.
That's true. That's very true. But they had the hopes for the playoffs. It's not looking like it's going to happen just because of injuries. Next up is the Charlotte Checkers.
I'm shocked that isn't Carolina.
It's not.
Yeah,
it was at one point.
Charlotte Checkers. Is that the Panthers?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, it
Hell
is.
Yeah.
Good job, bud. 2-0 this week. They only played 2 games.
What? Everyone else played at least 3 games.
Except for Florida and Detroit. They only played 2.
That's so weird.
The Panthers were 35-27-7 on the year. That's 77 points. They're in 4th. They beat Montreal 9-5.
Yes, they did.
It was 9-3 in the first period. Sorry.
Yeah.
Was it 9-3 or 8-3?
No, I think it was 9-3.
It was 9-3. Yes.
Because I think that's the record for as many goals.
It was 7-3 in the first period.
Oh, okay.
7-3 in the first period because 10 goals first period.
I think
Jesus Christ! It was the record,
right?
It was the record. Here's the thing: Bobrovsky was in net.
Bobrovsky scored. It's crazy. He knuckle pucked it.
He
from
did not.
center ice.
He's above 9. He's below 900 because he was 25 for 30.
Yeah.
That's an 8.33. Because Bobrovsky has played 13 games straight now.
Oh God!
They don't have a backup. Spencer Knight's in the player assistance program. Alex Lyon got sent back down. They've moved some guys around, but like they're trying to figure out someone to give Bobrovsky a rest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why did they send Lyon back down?
I don't know.
Well, I
think to give him more AHL time.
This might be a thing because the Penguins have been dealing with this a little bit too, where they're juggling guys in the AHL in NHL because of the salary cap.
Yep.
Because they're like they're too close to it to actually call somebody up. So like when an injury happens, they have to declare the guy an emergency call up to actually call them up. So I'm wondering if that's the same thing that's happening with Florida, but that's nuts. They're only running with Bobrovsky right now.
They're only running with Bobrovsky right now.
Thanks. Before he got to Florida, I'd be like, he can handle it. Not since.
I mean, they're getting the wins.
I guess that's true. They did go 2-0.
They're getting back into that playoff spot.
That's true.
They're
They're 1 point behind the Penguins.
And 2 points behind the Islanders with like 3 games in hand of the Islanders. 2 games in hand of the Islanders.
I think both them and the Penguins have 2 games in hand on the Islanders.
Yeah. So there's a good chance that they take the Islanders.
1 point behind the Penguins. Both teams have 2 games in hand on the Islanders, who there are 2 and 3 points behind, respectively.
Tkachuk had a goal and 3 assists in that game.
Wow.
Against Montreal. And I actually watched this game. It was fucking
good
insane.
Game.
Not if you like defense. And not if you feel
bad.
But
I don't.
Not if you feel bad for goalies, too. I'll talk about that later. But
about Bert's feelings towards goalies.
Yes. They outshot Montreal 42-30.
Okay.
Then they beat the Devils, like Bert mentioned, 4-2. They scored a shorthanded goal against, but Reinhart had 2 goals in that game. 2 for 3 on the penalty kill. Not a lot of penalties, but it's just interesting.
It's not
bad. It's just interesting. Yeah. And Tkachuk is their top player with 2 goals and 3 assists in those 2 games. Next up is Detroit, or the Grand Rapids Griffins.
I knew that one too.
Yeah,
I knew that one.
0-2. They were pretty much out of the playoffs. They knew it.
It was right at the trade deadline. They started. They dropped a couple games. I think Ottawa.
2
and they were like, fuck it.
They got spanked by Ottawa.
We'll just get like what we can for
30-29-9. That's good for 69 points.
Nice.
That's 7th in the division. They lost to Nashville, like Bert said, 1-2. They outshot Nashville 29-16. So Husso let in 2 goals on 16 shots.
No, Husso.
I know. And then Husso started the game against Colorado, which they lost 1-5.
Yep.
What was that? 5 goals on 21 shots? Yeah.
Yes.
And then Hellberg came in for 2 more shots.
Good job, Magnus.
I know. They outshot Colorado 34-23, like Bert said, but gave up a shorthanded goal.
Yeah.
I don't have anything to say about them. That's it. They're done.
Sorry, Detroit.
Laval Rockets.
I know that's Montreal.
Yes, it is. They were 1-3 this week.
I mean, I think literally the Laval Rockets are playing in Montreal.
Kind
of.
Their injuries are just
they're
crazy.
routed by injuries too.
27-37-6. That's 60 points. That is 8th in the division.
Yep.
They started by losing 4-8 to Colorado. Allen started that game. Montembeault finished it. Anderson had a goal in an assist in there, and they were outshot 19-33.
Yeah.
Then they beat Pittsburgh. Montembeault was in net there. They were 2 for 4 on the penalty kill. And Richard had the eventual game-winning goal. Also outshot 43-22. That's all I had. Losing to Florida, 5-9, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Montembeault started that game. He let in 3 goals in 5 shots. Like, he was over 3, basically, to start. He got pulled. Then Allen gave in another 6 goals.
And then they put Montembeault back in.
And they put Montembeault back in, where he went. He ended the night 21 for 24.
Hey.
But here's the thing.
That's a good bounce back.
Here's the thing with, like, when Allen was in net, every single bounce, every single puck luck went right into the net.
Yeah.
Like, it was just
one of those games.
It was tip drill after tip drill. It wasn't even always off a Panther stick. It was sometimes off a Montreal skate. Someone banked it in off of Allen himself. And after that sixth goal, like, you could just see his body language, just like, I'm fucking done. I'm done. I don't care. So they put Montembeau back in, and he locked it down. Richard had a goal and an assist in that game. Shots ended up pretty even.
Who the hell is that guy?
I don't know. That's what I mean. It's the Rockets.
Scored the game winner against Pittsburgh. He scored 2 goals against Florida.
Yeah. Harvey Pinard got some points against
Harvey Pinard scored against
Florida. Yeah.
Too.
And then they lost to the Lightning 3-5. 1 for 2 on the power play, 1 for 2 on the penalty kill. Hoffman had a goal and an assist, and they were outshot 41-21.
Nice.
Yes. Again, in that, Josh Anderson is their top player with 2 goals and 3 assists in these 4 games. Josh Anderson, I believe it was either in the Florida game or the Tampa game, where he finally overtook Cole Caulfield for number 1 in shots for Montreal this season.
And Cole Caulfield's been injured for what?
Since November?
Yeah.
He's been out since November, and they finally have someone who's taken more shots on the season than Cole Caulfield.
Jesus Christ. How many shots was he taking? Just every one for
basically,
Montreal?
And he was scoring. Penalty kill, 13 out of 13. How many do you think?
Penalty kill out of 13. Well, I know that they lit up 2 to the Penguins, because I remember you saying that.
Yep.
Let me go with solid 6.
You're exactly correct.
Am I? Oh, 6.
6 for 13 on the penalty kill, because they were 0 for 3 against Colorado.
Oh, right.
2 for 4 against Pittsburgh, 3 for 4 against Florida, and then 1 for 2. That's your problem.
Yeah, I mean, and the injuries are not helping.
Yes,
either.
the injuries are a problem. Caden Gooley came back last week, I believe. He left a couple of times and came back during the Florida game, and he was out during the Tampa game.
Oh.
But like, with all of their big high scorers out, they in 4 games they scored 18 goals.
And I will say about because I glossed over this for the Penguins. The Penguins did go up 2-0 in that game rather quickly.
Yes.
And I saw some of the Penguins media people being like, "Oh, they just lost 8-4. This might be ugly. They're already down 2-0."
Right.
And they were ahead in the first period, 4-2. I think at the end of the first period, which annoyed me to no end.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes.
And the Penguins battled back to tie the game, and then let up the Richard goal. Early in the third period, and then the last goal was an empty netter.
Yeah. All right. Next up is the Providence Bruins.
Because I glossed over the Penguins, let me just say, one of the things that really annoyed me this week, in not the game where they lost 6-0, but the other 2 games, they controlled so much of the play.
They really did.
That they should have won those games.
100%.
And they just couldn't score, or
they
just gave up a goal from nothing.
Yep.
And you could say that was defensively or the goaltending. Tristan Jarry specifically, who has just been playing terribly since coming back from his injury.
Yeah,
which leads me to believe, like you said, he's probably still injured.
He's playing injured.
And he's probably not going to get a contract extension by the Penguins, at least.
All right. We're going to move on to Providence.
Yes, I'm sorry.
The Providence Bruins.
Oh, I wonder who those are.
I wonder who. They went 3-1 this week on their road trip because Bert talked about. They lost 2 games in a row to Detroit and then Chicago.
Wow.
My bad.
It's okay. It's learning curve with these new mic stands.
3-6. They outshot Chicago 49-29, like Bert said.
Yep.
Then they shut out Winnipeg, like Bert said. Swayman 36 for 36. Beat Minnesota 5-2, also like Bert said. Marchand had 3 assists, and then 7-0 against Buffalo.
And just a stunt on them. Linus Allmark fed Swayman a buffalo wing during the post-game interview.
In Buffalo, Swayman in net, 26 for 26, gets fed a buffalo wing by his goalie buddy.
I'm just saying.
Swayman 2-0.
Too confident. Going into the playoffs, too confident.
Swayman 2-0 this week.
Gonna lose to the Penguins in the first round.
0 goals against.
Wow. He had 2 shutouts.
2 shutouts.
Wow. So, they split time this week?
Yes, they split time. Not McDavid. Marchand had 6 points. They were all assists.
Swayman had 2 shutouts.
No,
so,
I'm just saying. Those are the 2 top players.
Okay. Don't get mad at me, Jesus.
In the Buffalo shutout, DeBrusk had a goal and 3 assists. So he had a 4.9 himself.
Bergeron scored 15 seconds into the game.
15 seconds into the game. Speaking of Buffalo, the Rochester Americans.
Yep.
1-2-1.
I hate that name. I hate
not great.
I hate that they're called the Americans.
They were having some playoff hopes. They're basically done. 33-30-6. That's 72 points. That's 5th in the division. Beating Toronto to start the week. Alex Tuch, his first game back from injury, he had 2 goals. Anderson was in net. Then the shootout loss with Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in net as well. Peyton
Ukko-Pekka.
1 for 3 on the penalty kill there. Peyton Krebs 2 assists. Losing to Philadelphia, absolutely shameful.
Shame.
Craig Anderson in net, 2 for 4 on their power play, 0-1 on their penalty kill. Olofsson had both goals, and they outshot Philadelphia 38-22. And then for the shutout loss against Buffalo, shutout loss against Boston by Buffalo. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in net for all 7 goals.
Oh.
And you're going to take this. You're going to take this loss. Also, bad defense. His own team was screening him multiple times.
That's what they should be doing.
That's what they should.
That's what should happen.
That's what you want. 4 for 8 on their penalty kill on the week. That's your problem right there. It's a solid 50%. But Owen Power, 4 assists. He's trying.
He's trying.
The Syracuse Crunch are up next.
That's Tampa.
Yep. We only have 2 teams left. 3-1 on the week. 42-23-6. That's 90 points. That's 3rd in the division. Like Bert talked about, 3 games against the Devils.
Yep.
4-1 win, 4-3 shootout win, and then the 2-5 loss. And then in between the second win and the first loss was a 5-3 win against Montreal.
It's so weird that those 2 teams played each other 3 times, and each of them had a game between the second and third game against a different team.
So Brandon Hagel, 1 goal and 2 assists in the first game against New Jersey Devils. In the second game, Stamkos had a goal and 2 goals and an assist, and they got outshot 35-23. Brandon Hagel against Montreal had a hat trick in the anniversary in which he got traded to Tampa Bay. And then they don't have a standout player against that with that loss because they were also outshot 39-24. Their top player is Brandon Hagel with 4 goals and 2 assists. Finishing up is Toronto Marlies. 2-1-1 on the season. They have 93 points with 42-18-9, so that's 2nd. Losing to Buffalo to start. Matt Murray letting in 4 goals. Austin Matthews had a goal and 2 assists. They lost to Colorado in a shootout. Samsonov was in net there. Morgan Riley had the 1 goal. Then they beat Carolina in their St. Pat's uniform, the old St. Pat's and the old greens. Samsonov in net again. Kalle Yarnko had 2 assists there. And then they finished the week by beating Ottawa in a shootout 5-4. Matt Murray was in net. They got outshot a crazy amount there. Murray was 48 for 52.
What? You said 40 for 52.
48 for 52.
Okay.
48 for 52.
I think you slurred that 8 a little bit.
My bad. 1 for 2 on that power play, but let in a shorthanded goal. 4 games in a row, Matt Murray has let in 4 goals.
That's just like the Penguins in general.
Exactly. Yeah. Calle Yarnco had 2 goals in that game. Their special teams was fine. They had 3 players that had 6 points. Calle Yarnco, Austin Matthews, and Mitch Marner.
Calle Yarnco is the one that you wouldn't expect to be up there.
And he had 3 goals, 3 assists.
That's a good week for him.
Matthews and Marner had like 2 goals, 4 assists.
Scrubs.
All right. News. My bad. I forgot I was going to make that sound.
Bong.
For Boston. Is it Derek Forbert?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Derek Forbert. Lower body. He's questionable for Tuesday coming up. He has missed the last 2 games. Lower body. For Buffalo, I don't talk about a lot like you just did with prospect signings. I don't talk a lot about their prospect signings.
Like for these guys,
Buffalo signed Devin Levy out of Northwestern, goalie. He is supposed to be the next top prospect goalie.
We'll see.
Goalies, who knows? Any player, who knows?
Could be. Could win the Vezina in a couple of years. Could not.
3 years entry level. Detroit, Ben Sherratt is week to week with an upper body. Florida, I missed this. I should have mentioned it honestly a month ago when this news came out. Patrick Hornquist has been out for a long time. They, with concussion, they are suspecting he is done for the season.
Yeah, that might be a wrap on.
That might be it.
Old Patty Hornquist too.
For Ottawa, Parker Kelly is day to day with an undisclosed injury, but he has missed the entire week. So we'll see how he goes going forward. And finally, Noel Akari is day to day with an undisclosed injury. He's missed a couple of games, so we'll see again going forward. That's it.
And that is it for week 23.
3 more weeks left
of the NHL season. 3 more weeks left. 12, somewhere between 11 and 13 games for everybody left. So yeah, we're getting right down to it. You know what? Let's look at the standings really quick. Let's look at what's close right now.
Florida is right in there.
So let's talk about the East wild card because the top 3 in both divisions is pretty well set. The Devils could catch. Wow, they have 2 games. The top 3, go ahead, in each division for the East is pretty well set. Boston at number 1, Toronto far back number 2, and Tampa Bay at number 3, 3 points behind Toronto. In the Metropolitan Division, Carolina with 98 points, the Devils with 97, and the New York Rangers with 92. Pretty well set. Now, where it gets close is when we go to the wild card. The Islanders currently have the top wild card spot with 80 points with 71 games played. Right behind them, I wonder if you guys can hear that music. Right behind them is the Pittsburgh Penguins with 78 points with 69 games played. And right behind them is the Florida Panthers with 77 points with 69 games played. So pretty tight race there for the Eastern wild card. Moving over to the Western Conference, the Dallas Stars are in first place in the Central Division with 89 points, while the Minnesota Wild have 88 points. Right behind them, the Colorado Avalanche have 86 points in third place there. Both Dallas and Minnesota have 70 games played, while Colorado has 68. So theoretically, Colorado could be in first place if they won both of those games. You missed it. Clay ran to the bathroom. While you were away, music started playing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I don't know if our recording equipment picked up something somewhere. Because I don't hear it because right when you came back, it went away.
My P is musical.
And I don't hear it outwardly. I don't know what that was about. I don't know if you guys will hear that or if that was just some weird thing I was hearing. Maybe I'm just going crazy.
That
could be possible.
That's it too.
Let's move over to the Pacific.
All right.
Yeah, go ahead.
All top 3 teams have all played 70 games, so they're all tied games played. Vegas is at top with 92 points. The Kings are right behind him with 90, and then in third is the Oilers with 86 points. But then we get into the wild card. The first wild card spot is held by the Seattle Kraken with 69 games played and 83 points. So they could be 1 point behind Edmonton if they win that one game that they haven't played. And then in the second wild card spot is
the Winnipeg Jets with 81 points in 71 games played. Now, there is a bit of a cushion between Winnipeg and Calgary, who is right behind them with 77 points.
Yeah.
Calgary does have a game in hand on Winnipeg, but they are 4 points back. And it's not like Calgary has been playing particularly well lately, but neither is Winnipeg.
Yeah, so that could be Calgary's saving grace if they pick it up while Winnipeg keeps falling back.
Maybe. And then the only other team within spitting distance is the Nashville Predators with 76 points, so only 5 points back. They have 3 games in hand on Winnipeg.
Oh, yeah.
So they could get up there. So it's kind of close. It's not as close in the West as in the East, but there are, depending on how the cards lie, Calgary and Nashville could catch Winnipeg for that last spot.
I honestly think Florida knocks off the Islanders.
You think so?
I do.
God, and you think the Penguins just... You're probably right. The Penguins are probably going to sneak into the playoffs.
Sneak in.
Just to be like, we're here.
Embarrassed by Boston.
Or they embarrass Boston.
I don't see it.
Let me have hope.
Look, I know anything can happen in the playoffs, but I've seen Penguins in the first round in the last 4 years.
Let me have hope.
You shouldn't.
Let me have hope.
I've given up hope. And
over this next week, Boston, not seriously, but Patrice Bergeron is going to get injured with like an injury where he's going to, I don't know, not seriously, but break his leg. And not enough to hobble him for the rest of his life, but enough to keep him out of the first round of the playoffs. And somehow the Penguins will upset the Boston Bruins. You're going to shit your pants if that comes true, though.
Look,
all of you out there.
Yeah, but then Jake DeBrusk scored 2 goals, or at least 1 goal against the Penguins on a broken leg.
I will say, I don't actually think that will happen, but the Penguins in the 1 game that they played Boston? 2 games? I think in both games, it's not been like a blowout.
No, it hasn't.
Especially the Winter Classic game.
The Winter Classic
was a close game.
3-2?
2-1, I think.
2-1? Okay.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see how the chips fall for that.
It's figuring itself out right now.
It's all figuring itself out.
It's all coming together.
And hey, you know what? At this time in a few weeks, it'll be figured out.
One
way or the other.
One way or the other.
And we'll be here for that whole thing, and we will see you guys next week, right? You don't have any?
No.
Okay, great. Because the last 2 weeks, Clay has been out of town for the entirety of a week, come back for like 3 days, and then was out of town again. So
yep.
I don't know what your schedule is anymore.
Me neither.
Yeah, I guess I should ask Jenny. It's probably a better choice of
probably.
Yeah. But we will be here next week for week 24, where we can be found wherever podcasts are found. And give us a rate, review, subscribe wherever applicable. And we'll see you next week at the same puck time.
Same puck place.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.